Hi, everyone, and happy Sunday. Welcome to week 9 of our grade 9 e learning course, October 30th to November 3rd. Hopefully, you had a great weekend and you're looking forward to this week as we jump into Unit 2 content. Students really enjoy Unit 2. It kind of gets a little bit more, spicy, and you kind of get to reflect on some of your own lifestyle experiences, and students really enjoy that. So, I hope you'll enjoy the content for this week. This week we have 3 lessons we're going through and we have 2 assignments. So I'm just going to take you through that content now, okay? So scrolling through our weekly agenda is always posted in Dropbox. I'm sorry, as always posted on our weekly activity feed. We always have our weekly attendance activity, so do make sure you do that so that you are marked as present for the entire week. Okay, so for this week, we have, like I said, the 3 lessons. So these little square orange boxes are your slideshow lessons. So you're going to be going through each of these lessons. So on Monday, I've assigned the online and business ethics lesson. So this unit is all about digital literacy, social media communication. So it's understanding the idea behind ethical business operations and ethical choices as individuals, and then applying that to how we use, of course, because it's an online course, how we communicate in an online environment. So, this first lesson, what I want you to do is, again, as always, go through the slide decks and read all of the content. I do recommend taking notes as well, just so that you can remember things as you need to as you move through the course. Okay. So, this lesson really takes you through understanding what ethics is and this idea of what ethics means to you. So, what you believe is right versus wrong, and just really looking at how it's difficult to teach it, because what I believe is right and versus wrong is different from what you might believe is right versus wrong based on our experiences, our, how we were brought up, our religious backgrounds and differences, cultural backgrounds as well. Okay. But there are always standards of ethics within communities as well as within countries. So again, as an example, obviously the Human Rights Code or the Constitution in Canada will establish laws and sort of social norms that guide our ethical decision making. And so from that, as a business teacher, I can teach you, what are some ways that business leaders might engage in, making decisions when there are unethical practices happening within their business environment. So we're going to look at some examples of that today. So when you go through this lesson, one of the first activities here is you're going to do a little Jamboard. So if you pop into this, there's a little Jamboard here, and what I want you to do is just write down what you value. So what are some of your value systems? So an example of this, might be you would create a sticky note and say, this is my name, Miss Thompson. I value kindness, caring for others, thinking of others, sharing, and, you know, uh, always being thoughtful, things like that. Okay. So there's a lot of different things that you can write. So that is an example of what you'll do for this Jamboard. Okay. So you go in and you just write one there. Okay. And then you'll continue through the lesson. So the lesson just takes you through different aspects of ethical decision making in schools, and just their ideas behind like plagiarism, cyberbullying, just some interesting facts around that as well. So again, continue to go through this, looking at the definition of harassment, and then we look at the definition of unethical dilemmas. I give you an example of an ethical dilemma that actually happened with the company Volkswagen. So again, this gives you an example of something that happened at the business level not too many years ago. And it demonstrates the different dilemmas that they had within that particular case. So go ahead and read that as an example. It does take you through the resolution for how they actually solved that particular ethical dilemma. And that is that. So after you go through this lesson in detail, you've been assigned an ethical dilemmas reading assignment. So that's been here, linked in here on the weekly agenda. And you can also obviously find this in Dropbox. So if you pop into our classroom and you go to assessments Dropbox, I don't think that's right. Yeah, Dropbox. And scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll find that it says badge number 4, ethical dilemmas, reading and case scenario. Okay, so what you're going to do is go through that, and it is a handout. Okay, so it's a reading here for you. And you read through the examples of ethical dilemmas in business environments as well as in school environments. So it goes through a number of different examples, and then it gives you guidance onto how to make the proper ethical decision based on that scenario. You're going to go through that whole handout and read all of that. And by the time you're done, you'll have enough information to know how to make good ethical decisions for these 4 scenarios that you've been assigned. So you're going to make a copy of this document, and you are going to then, obviously, as always, share that document with me, give me editing privileges, and then you're going to answer these questions. So you have 4 different scenarios. You're going to read the scenarios, and then you're going to answer here what your decision would be based on this scenario, okay? What your guidance would be that you would give someone if they were presented with a scenario like this, okay? So that's that. When you're done, you're going to copy and paste the link in the comment section of the Dropbox submission. So that's the first assignment of the week. Okay, pretty easy peasy. And then I've sort of said Tuesday to work on that, but if it were me, I would probably try to get that all done on Monday and just move forward with the rest of the content. Okay. The second lesson here is a slide deck as well, again, on digital citizenship. And it's taking what we learned with the first lesson on ethics, and it's applying it to, well, how do we behave ethically in an online environment? Okay, so as always, you're going to go through the slide decks and read about, the different content. We're talking about what it takes to be a good citizen, both online and in school. And then we're having you take some space to reflect on, like, wow, how are you using your devices when you're in school? Okay. And then there is this video here. It's called Our Attention Spans in Crisis. You are assigned to watch this video. So you're going to watch this video, and then you're going to reflect on that. And actually, you are going to have to reflect on that in your assignment. So you might want to take a few notes down while you're watching the video of things that stand out to you so you don't forget that. Okay. Or you're going to continue through the lesson. There is another video. This is a TED Talk. Again, you have been assigned this to watch this video. It's called Accountability and Responsibility in a Digital World. These videos are just going to challenge your thoughts on how you use technology in your everyday life, and just giving you some pause to take space to reflect on, like, how your technology influences your life, whether positively or negatively. Okay. So that's your lesson for our class on Wednesday. Again, all I've assigned to you on Wednesday is the lesson, but if it were me, I would make sure I would be done my ethical dilemmas assignment. I would submit that in Dropbox, and I would get moving forward, because this digital and social media audit will definitely take you a few hours to complete. Okay, so once you're done that lesson, you move on to the social media and mental health lesson. This is the one I think you're really going to like. There's mostly video content in this lesson. So again, whenever there are videos in your slide decks, you are assigned to watch those videos, and you'll have that on your assignment as well. So really what I want you to do through this is to go through and reflect on, how does social media influence your mental health? Okay, and this is a fabulous TED Talk that really gives you pause for thinking about that connection. There's profound research that basically tells us without a shadow of a doubt that our use on technology and social media directly correlates to our mental well-being. And for many, many, many students, it is a direct negative correlation. Okay, so you're going to watch this, and then you'll need that information for question number 9 on your assignment. So again, take some quick notes, okay? And then again, just some things to reflect on. This is a great infographic that demonstrates just how much media we consume every day. And we consume media in very subconscious ways. You don't always recognize how much you're absorbing when you're scrolling on your phones, right? How long are you actively doing that for? When you're on video games, what type of advertisements are being sort of thrown at you, subconsciously? So what the research tells us is that, media consumption is at an all-time high. Youth are the number one targeted market, and they're bombarded with over 40,000 messages per year. Most of those messages are about really changing how you look, making you feel insecure about, the way that your body looks, your skin looks, your relationships, etc. Really trying to sell you products. These 2 videos here challenge also the images that we see in all of these media messages, and how they are digitally altered to be sort of from, a more perfect perspective. And so it gives you pause to look at, well, what are these images actually that I'm looking at? Are they even real, or are they digitally enhanced? And how does that impact my mental well-being? Okay, so go through this lesson, reflect on what you see. There are some amazing articles linked into the lesson as well on how social media influences your psychology. So, specific to teens' mental health as well, and specific to use of social like Instagram, TikTok, etc. Okay. So go through that lesson, and that's going to take you to the final assignment of the week. You're going to make a copy of this document, share it with me, give me editing privileges. And when you're done with it, you're going to copy and paste the link into the comment section of Dropbox. Okay. And then you're going to go through these guided questions. These guided questions are self explanatory. It's very detailed and gives you everything you need to know. But basically, it's going to have you audit your social media usage. So I want you to go and check, how long are you on TikTok? How long are you on Snapchat? How many messages are you sending a day? How many hours are you spending in a week playing video games? You know, when I did this with my class, my grade 9 class in class, we were up to, thousands of hours as a collective. And we talked about what that does to us and how it takes us away from the present moment. We also did an audit where students had to tally how many messages they were receiving and sending in a class period. And we were well over 300 messages incoming and sent during a class period. And we talked about how every single time you get a text message from a friend, when your teacher is teaching, you don't pay attention to what the teacher is saying and how much that interrupts, what you're learning and the present moment. So that's really what this assignment is about. So you're going to go through and audit yourself, and then you're going to go through the reflection. It's going to tie back to the lessons that we did this week. So again, you have to do the lessons, you have to watch the videos in order to answer the questions of this assignment. Okay. So I think the questions are designed to be really reflective. I think you're going to enjoy the questions, but I do want to make sure that you understand it's very important that your answers are detailed, that they are specific to you. So you're using your own life experiences, but that you're tying it to what you learned in the 3 lessons this week. I want to see evidence of that because it shows me that you've paid attention, that you've watched the videos, and that you're making those connections. When you're done, you're going to submit it in Dropbox. Okay, again, if you go back to Dropbox, you see right here assignment number 6. And both of those assignments, the badge 4 and assignment 6 from this week, are due on Monday at 8 a.m. Okay? I think you'll enjoy the content this week, but get on top of it. Don't leave it to the end of the week. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. Send me an email. And otherwise, I will see you online.